Now, let's move on to what is probably one of the most important equation in electrochemistry. So you have your Nernst equation. So for the Nernst equation, this one tells us the value of the Gibbs free energy without resorting to a standard conditions, because not always we are not always at standard conditions. So sometimes it's 0.5 molar or 0.1 molar. It's not always at 1.0 molar. So what happens, how do we calculate if it's not at standard conditions? Because so far from our previous discussions, or from the previous slides that you have seen, we are just calculating them at standard conditions. So what if it's no longer at standard conditions? So basically, we are making use of our Nernst equation. So this is your Nernst equation. E is equal to E sub O minus RT NF ln of Q. Now, this is probably the fifth equation you need to remember for electrochemistry. If you count E cathode minus E anode as the first one, and then the three equations last time from the previous video. So you have the Nernst equation as the fifth. So here you have this is the standard E cell potential from the table again. R as the gas constant, that is in joules per mole Kelvin. T is the temperature. You have N as the number of moles of electrons. Take note, N here for electrochemistry, it's always the moles of electrons. And F is the Faraday's constant. Now, we have a new variable here, Q. What is Q? If you remember the previous equation, this one is similar to RT ln of RT over NF ln of K, if it's at standard conditions, equilibrium constant K. Now here is Q. Q represents the ratio of the products over the reactants when not in equilibrium. So K is the ratio of the products over the reactants at equilibrium. But since the Nernst equation tells us this is what is occurring when we are not at standard conditions and not necessarily at equilibrium, so we cannot use the K because that denotes equilibrium. We are just using a different variable, Q. Just a different letter, but the treatment is still the same. This is the ratio of the products over the reactants. Now, at 298K, we can just calculate the values of RT and F as 0.0257. Take note, this is ln of Q. But I am discouraging you from using this equation. Rather, just use this original equation, RT over NF ln of Q, because sometimes people mistake ln for log, and when that happens, you are just going to and then after that they just apply 0.0257 so that you will have a different value. That's an error. So just stick to one. So just use this one, and it's not always at the reaction occurs at 298K. So it's better to just use the original form, RT over NF. It has, of course, provided you need to input a lot of values in the calculator, but the value of R and the value of F in the calculator is already there. So just look for your manual in the constants. It should be there. So it's just easy to take note. So as I told you, if you are going to use this equation, you need to take note this is ln, and a different value of this is log. So anyway, as I told, I'd rather that you just remember a single one and just use this equation. Now predict whether the following reaction would proceed spontaneously as written in 298K. So you have a reaction of cobalt and iron to form cobalt 2 plus and the iron is solid metallic iron. Now, these are the values. These are the concentration of the cobalt and the iron. So, this is, we do not know if it's in equilibrium or not, but it's just, this is the reaction that we have. Now, and that is where the Nernst equation happens. So, why, if the question is whether the question is, does this reaction proceed spontaneously? And remember, how do we determine if a certain reaction proceeds spontaneously? The way to do that is to look at the Gibbs free energy. If you have a negative Gibbs free energy, that's a spontaneous reaction. If you have a positive Gibbs free energy, that is a non-spontaneous reaction. So here you must need to you should look for delta G. So we need to calculate for delta G. So we identify from the reaction cobalt is oxidized, iron is reduced. So from the table, we have your oxidation, cobalt, and the reduction as iron. So from the table of cathode minus anode, we have 0.44 for the iron and negative 0.88 for the cobalt. So E cell is negative 0.16 volts. So from here, you can say na, oh, it should not be spontaneous. This is already negative. But take note, this reaction does not occur at standard conditions. Probably, you have a negative E cell, but since the reaction does not occur at standard conditions, it might still change. So we need to calculate the other side of the equation. So remember the Nernst equation is this one. So if our RTN, if this term is higher than our negative E cell value, standard E cell value, that means even if the E cell value is negative, this reaction can still proceed. So we need to calculate the next term here. So this one we already calculated from our standard cell potential. And then RT over F, this is 0.0257. And this is N, the number of electrons that you have. So how many electrons are moving? Looking at this equation, cobalt to cobalt 2 plus, so a change of plus 2, so that means 2 electrons are lost. Fe2 plus to Fe solid, 2 electrons are gained. So we are moving 2 electrons, not 4, just 2 electrons. Okay? So because again, the number of electrons lost by the anode is the number of electrons is the same number as the ones gained in the cathode. Now anyway, so just substitute. So Q, as I told you, Q is the ratio of the reactants over the product. So here you have, from this equation, basically these are the product side. You have cobalt, iron, and of course the electrons. Now the solids, we do not count them. It's actually removed from the Q. The equation of Q, the equilibrium equation, the solids are removed. We are only considering AQs, the one in AQ and the one in gas form. So solids and liquids are not counted. If it's an AQ solution, we count the concentration. So from the given, we have a concentration of the cobalt over the iron. Why? Cobalt in the products, iron in the reactants. Why? Because iron is the only one that is in aqueous form in the reactant side, and cobalt is the only one in aqueous form in the reactant. So this solid iron and this solid cobalt is not counted. So only the cobalt and the iron. Cobalt and iron. So you just substitute it using the 0.16 volts. So here you have negative 0.16 volts plus 0.019 volts. So we have an E value of 0.14. So you have still a negative E value. So most likely this is not spontaneous. If you want to double check, you can calculate it in Gibbs free energy. So Gibbs free energy is negative NFE. Since N is positive, F is also positive, N is a negative value, and your E, calculated E here, is a negative value. So negative and negative, you have a positive Gibbs free energy. So that means you have a non-spontaneous reaction. So E can also be used to determine if it's spontaneous or not, but the best way is really to get the Gibbs free energy. But here, since the equation of the Gibbs free energy to E is negative NFE, you will get a positive Gibbs free energy still here. So you have a negative E. So basically that's basically how you apply Nernst equation. So let's have another example. So this is a galvanic cell, your 1 molar zinc and 1 molar hydrogen electrode. So in a certain experiment, the EMF of the cell is found to be at 54 volts at 25 degrees Celsius. So suppose that you have 1 molar of zinc and 1 atm of hydrogen. What is the molar concentration of your H+? So here you have your, we do not know the molar concentration of H+. Hydrogen gas is at 1 atm. We cannot say for sure that's already at equilibrium because we do not know H+. And basically, if we look at our equation, how many electrons are moving? We have 2 electrons moving. So we can double check it here. Okay, now the thing here is we are going to use also Nernst equation. And for the Nernst equation, this is, again, E is equal to the standard electron potential minus 0.0257 volts over the number of electrons ln of Q. Now, EO is again E cathode minus E anode. Based on our table, this was already calculated as 0.76. This is the standard potential, 0.76. Now, the measured cell potential is 0.54. So that means it's not at standard condition. So this electromotive force at non-standard position given at 0.54, and this is the standard the electromotive force at standard condition, 0.76. So we substitute here. This is the from the constants, 298 Kelvin. N is equal to 2, so you have 2 electrons moving. So if you analyze the equation, so zinc 2 plus, zinc metal to zinc 2 plus, so 2 electrons moving. Now, here is the value of Q. Q here is expressed as zinc, the concentration of the zinc times the pressure of hydrogen gas, and the concentration of the H plus squared. So why is it squared? So if you look back at our equation, we have 2 hydrogen, the coefficient of a hydrogen gas is 2. So as a rule for equilibrium, the coefficient becomes the exponent of that particular concentration. So here, zinc 2 plus, and since this is an aqueous solution, this is counted. This is a gas, it is also counted. If you are going to express it in equilibrium concentration, this must be in ATM. So input the pressure in ATM, the concentration in molar. Zinc as a solid, it is not counted. So for the reactant side, this must only be hydrogen. And hydrogen has a coefficient of 2. That is why it has an exponent of 2. If zinc has a coefficient of 3, for example, it would have an exponent of 3. The same goes for hydrogen. If this hydrogen gas has an exponent of, say, 5, P raised to 5 yan. So basically, here, since their coefficients are 1, so zinc 2 plus and then hydrogen. So even if this is a molar concentration and this is in ATM, that is, since the ln operator here, it removes the exponent. So it's actually fine. So 1 molar of zinc and 1 molar of your ATM. So but take note that the units must be in molar and in ATM. It must not be in mmHg. It must not be at grams per liter. So it should be at molar and at ATM units. So you have these values. So from the equation, we are missing H plus. So solve for the missing H. So just a simple algebra, and you will end up with 2 times 10 to the negative 4 molar. So that's the concentration of your hydrogen gas. So basically, that's for the Nernst equation.